memories.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
And tell me, what did you say?
Good memories.
Good memories, hey? Of course, that was 10 years ago, 2011, Joburg Fashion Week at the Bus Factory. And that show was a Karabo Finger show. I was definitely at the height of my career at the time. And as a designer, as a fashion designer, you know, when you reach that height, when your career gets to that point where you are recognized and, you know, it's such a great feeling. It's such a great feeling to showcase your work to the world. And of course, 10 years later, I'm doing Decata. So this is a podcast for Decata.Africa. And I'm glad to have joining me today my colleagues, my friends, my sisters. It's such an honor to have such great entrepreneurial spirit coming to share the past 10 years with me, and you know, the highlights, where we were, where we are now, and you know, where we hope to reach, you know, in the future. So I'd like to introduce Tumi Shipalana of Muruo. Hi, Tumi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me. And I have Nthabiseng Finger and Moratuwa Finger with me of Masachaba Foods. And I'm glad you could take the time out of your day, your very busy schedules, you know, to join me today and to have this discussion. For the audience to understand, you know, what is behind Decata, what is behind the story of how Decata came to be. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Where were we 10 years ago? 10 years ago I was a fashion designer, and this is where this was when the idea for Decata was born. Working as a fashion designer, you would plow the internet looking for inspiration for what inspires you. And there was this magazine called Collezioni. It was an Italian magazine that would feature Fashion Week images, pages and pages and pages of images of Fashion Weeks, from Milan to Paris to New York to London. And I would love perusing through this magazine and, you know, seeing the potential that Africa can have with such a publication. So the idea for Decata was, you know, was to publish this kind of magazine. However, at this time, it's now fully a digital platform for African design, for African art, for African architecture, photography, and craft. And we feature professionals across the continent who do amazing, amazing work. And we want to build this beautiful library of fashion and art and architecture, all the visual arts across the continent, for professionals and for ourselves to, you know, to peruse and to find inspiration and to celebrate one another. So I asked me and Nthabi and Moratuwa to join me here today, because in 2011, we were all doing very, very different things, you know. Nthabi and Tumi were in a partnership for Purple Hill Shoe Boutique. Tumi, do you want to tell us a little bit about Purple Hill?
Wow, just before I do that, I just have vivid memories of that night at the fashion show. The butterflies, the excitement, you know, the euphoria when you walked that stage for all of us. My goodness, it was a mixed bag of all types of feelings for me. And having been part of that whole experience, that whole journey, and part of being one of the sponsors for you for the show. I mean, it was like, birthing a child and watching this child grow and come out, the full butterfly, over that one special night. Purple Hill was a love child, inspired by my and Tabi's love for shoes. And at that time in our lives, we it was a chance opportunity wherein Ntabi was walking down the main road in Parkhurst, and she, said, "Look, I saw this space. I think, we can do something. Let's feed off that, our love for shoes. Let's create something." And with a lot of chutzpah, with a lot of anxiety, and with massive support behind us, we went head in with that venture. And we were, looking at serious possibilities and visualizing the Manolo Blahniks in our store, the Louboutins in our store, the big international brands. And Italy was our main feeder for the store, and we relished the idea of us having Italian brands once off, where people could differentiate themselves, as opposed to having 500 people having the same sort of pair of shoes. So that was at that point our USP, our unique selling point, to say, look, it will be a few of a kind, and you'll be the only one walking in that pair of shoes. We put our heart and souls into it, and it did what it could, up until the point where it couldn't sustain anymore, and we had to come to the realization that, look, this is not the time for it, and we you have to put down your own child. It was a very difficult decision, but it also taught me, I think Ntabi would probably feel the same, that it's important to differentiate in business what is a business decision and emotional and personal decisions. So you sort of, we had to learn to differentiate that, look, this baby that we birthed is really not growing to become the adult that we envisaged. So perhaps we need to take it, put it down, and look at dusting ourselves out of it, and move on, and learn from that as entrepreneurs, that yes, if you look at the most successful people, they have failed many times in their lives, and it's about dusting yourself up and trying again.
Nthabi, the entrepreneurial spirit is what is eternal in us. Through the different ventures that we try,
2011, yes, I do remember, as Tumi was saying, your night, that fashion week night, was a wow moment for all of us. I remember sitting there, I think it was in the second row, and feeling so proud. I mean, I had goosebumps all over me. I was so excited. And when you came out after the fashion show, and I had tears in my eyes. I thought this is the beginning. This is the beginning of greatness, of things to come. And Purple Hill being there and, you know, in support of your night was just an incredible night. It was just so beautiful. And I remember then we had gotten our license, our FSB license on the 8th of February. So it was just at the right time for us to be like, wow, we are doing this thing. And
yeah,
it was the greatest thing. It was just at the beginning of the year. So it set the tone for that year to say, we are going to make it. This is success, you know?
yeah.
And it's been a hurdle, one hurdle after the other. And we jumped and we thought, you know, you can't get us down. You know, we had this spirit of success and you couldn't get us down even if you tried. So we went from strength to strength, and I think we grew on a personal level, even though our businesses took forever to take off. I remember when we made the decision to close down Purple Hill in 2013, gave us now the chance to focus on our new venture, which was Guarantee Health Solutions. So we embarked on that journey. As I said earlier, we had gotten the license on the 8th of February. So we embarked on a journey to now start signing up members. It was an arduous process. It was full of red tape.
As entrepreneurs trying to break into the industry.
Yes, that was very much male dominated. So it was an uphill battle. You know, people will look at us and think, what are these ladies doing here? You know, so they didn't want to give us a chance. We fought. We fought with everything that we had. And eventually, after fighting with
everyone.
After fighting
with everyone.
With everyone, then imagine that for 2 years.
Yeah.
We went on this journey of trying to prove ourselves and saying we can do this. We are just as good as anyone out there. So eventually we got our chance in 2013. We got signed up.
Nice.
Pardon?
No, with our first big client.
Our first big client, yes, was just the beginning. We were so very much excited. So it's been great. So anyone who's out there, don't give up, fight. Yeah. Just fight for what you believe in and fight for what you think it's yours.
Yeah.
Just fight.
So entrepreneurship is definitely the school of hard knocks, isn't it?
It is.
You were a student. You were studying marketing in 2011. Did you imagine yourself that 10 years later you would be the owner of a food and confectionery business?
Definitely not. When I was a student, I envisioned myself working in corporate, you know, doing marketing in corporate. This was the furthest thing from my mind that I would end up in this position. I always was running away from entrepreneurship, to be honest, because of how difficult I had seen it to be, you know, and so I always thought, you know, I just take the steady route and go get an office job and just, you know, sit there and do your thing, you know. So this was the furthest thing from my mind. I never would have imagined that I would be sitting here one day, honestly. This has been the first venture I've been in, you know, surrounded by people who I would say have experience. So it's also a learning journey for me, because I went in with, you know, nothing, no experience of how it is to run a business. I knew obviously that it wasn't like a linear line, ABC, you get in and you know, there's a lot of toil involved. There's a lot of reward involved. You know, it's up and down, up and down. But for some reason, it's been more fulfilling than I don't think I would feel this fulfilled sitting in an office one day, you know. So it's been a journey of self-discovery. You know, you get tested every single day, and every single day you learn that you are actually a strong person. You learn that you are a resilient person, that even though life tries to like knock you down and pin you down there, you can get up, and you do get up.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the drive of wanting your life to be better. Because if I was not doing this, what would I be doing? So it's that constant motivation to be better, to get up in the morning and make a better life for myself.
Yeah.
It also gives you the freedom, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is yes, that is the freedom of, you know, your time is your own, but at the same time it's not, because you are constant, you are in the business 24/7. So you also learn to compartmentalize your life, business, and try to separate the two. But yes, the freedom is I'd take that over a 9-to-5 any day.
All right. A little bit about the night in question.
Can I say something about that night? My God, it was, oh my word. It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. And wow, I loved all of it. And I loved you. I loved the whole thing. It was just so amazing. It was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This is like, and the tears.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
The atmosphere
And the
was
thing is,
electric.
you can still feel, even 10 years later, when I look at the clip, I'm just like, oh my God, it's like I'm there. The emotions are just as raw, you know? It's amazing. I mean, well done.
Thank you.
We want that. Give that to us. We still want that.
We still want it.
And the clothes are still, I'm still looking at them and I'm like, oh my God, like I would wear that. Where can we buy such things? Like timeless, classic, just stunningly beautiful work.
Yeah,
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did really want to go for a timeless feel. And I'll get into that in a moment. We were just talking about how difficult it can be. And you know, the difficulties come from places you would never anticipate. For instance, this show was on a Friday, right? The entire week was the most difficult time of my life, the most stressful. Putting this together, putting all this entire look together, from the clothes to the accessories. But I remember on the day, my car refused to go. I was driving this old speed up, hand-me-down car. And on the Friday, when I was supposed to get to Joburg for the show, it just refused to accelerate. it would start, it would go, but yeah, it refused to get there. And I think, um, when I eventually got there, obviously sweating and, extra stressful, I just thought, you get to a point where you're like, okay, let's just do this thing. Let's get it out of the way. And please, God, can everything else please work out? And it worked out. It worked out. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the help that I got in styling the looks from my colleagues, people that I work with, we came up with this very beautiful look of a timeless, beautiful woman who is modern, who is self-deterministic, who is ambitious. And we wanted to put it together and make it as worldly and as classy as possible. And I think we managed to pull it off. Another challenge that I experienced was with the knitwear. I worked with a colleague of mine called Laduma Ngxokolo of Mathosa Africa. In 2011, his career was also taking off. And I remember we were connected through mutual friends because I wanted somebody who could do beautiful knitwear for my collection. And his experience and his skill with putting together beautiful looks, really came through. And I remember in the week leading up to the show, I think it was on the Wednesday or Thursday, he was in because he was working from PE, and he had flown the package with the clothes, from PE, and I was scrambling getting to the airport to go and pick them up, and not knowing how they would look. For instance, the look in the middle here is a mohair jersey dress, and I sent Laduma the designs and asked, can you put this together for me, please? I've got this look in mind, and it's beautiful when it came together. And this is one of the things that I'm really, really thankful for, and subsequently.
I just want to ask, has he seen like the final look after he sent the packages?
Okay. Yeah, he saw it because we continued to work together. Even when I had my store in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, he would come through and he would meet his business prospects there because coming from PE, he would land in Joburg and come to me, would liaise and how are you doing? How's it going with you? And he was having a great year as well because he was winning kinds of awards for his Xhosa inspired knitwear. So we had a great working relationship there. So yeah, and this is where the idea for a design catalog started. Working with people like Laduma and seeing how much more I can do besides just being a fashion designer. There's more, where you what you do encapsulates the entire industry. You put all these people together because we were striving to find platforms that would represent us full time, not just lifestyle and culture shows and etc. So an exclusively fashion oriented platform that follows the lives and the careers of fashion designers. So I had this dream even then, and it is people like Laduma that I really wanted to work with, and I saw that I could become more. So 2 years later, my fashion design career was now more because I was called to undertake initiation. And it was in February of 2014 that, you know, I went and, you know, went and lived in a village, and, you know, life was very, very different, and life had taken a very, very different and strange turn. And it was a brave new world. But I came away from it, and with a different perspective of life, and looking to see what more of a contribution I can make and what more I can do. 2 years later, February 2016, I was beginning to start the process of writing my first novel. And I am now happy to say that I'm a published author, and I'm busy still with that. Um, and and the journey continues. 2021, here we are. And we had just recently launched Decata. And we're starting a series of podcasts where the original dream of wanting to represent other designers, and it's spreading it across the visual arts, making it about architects as well, artists, you know, photographers, and bringing it all together to make it this beautiful visual experience, and making it a digital platform, because we've got the power now of technology, which was just in its infancy 10 years ago. You can do so much more now online, and you can bring great content now online. So yeah, here we are. Here we are.
You'll be great. And I think Decata is going to be wonderful. Yes. Because I see it as a one-stop shop that showcases African designers, architects, artists, you know, in one, on one platform. So I'm in love with Decata.
Yeah.
I'm in love.
Yeah.
I think though it's also it's exciting starting a new thing, considering the history of where we've all been, and the fascination with where life takes you, and things that you sometimes never would have saw yourself doing. You are there and you are actually thriving in it. So it's always just exciting to start something new, and you know, you put all your energy and your mind, you actually visualize it, you see it, almost feel this thing. And the only hope you can have is that people will receive it in the same light that you are trying to present it, you know. I think maybe that is always the biggest challenge, is to convince people of your dreams, for them to see it the way that you envision them to be.
Yeah. Tumi, you wanted to say?
I would just want to say that, I mean, the work that you have done on Decata this far is commendable. And, you know, I totally admire the resolution, you know, being resolute in pushing that platform, and understanding what is it that you want out of it and where you want to take it.
Yeah.
I believe that, you know, the whole process, it will lead to a manifestation of the bigger picture, and you know, a continuous learning, and throwing fear out the window.
Yeah.
Because that crippling animal is always constantly there, but you know, having the constant communication with yourself to say, you know what, I am going ahead, whether you are here, fear, or you're not. And fear is what hinders us in a lot of ways, and it's having to constantly talk to ourselves to say, you know what, I'm not gonna fear you. You fear, you know, until we need to learn for fear to fear us,
Yeah.
and not for us to fear fear, because it blocks where it is that you want to go. Let it be scared that, oh no, this one I'm not going to touch. And you have put so much into it, and looking at it, the base of it, and seeing the vision that you have for it, it's really admirable. And I believe that it is one of the most exciting things that is going to come out in the very near, time span. And this Decata is what people will be talking about beyond our own South African borders, because it has the ability to get everywhere, to be everywhere, to be known. And it's amazing. It's amazing work that you've done with it. And look, I'm very proud of all of that you've put of yourself into that project.
Yeah. And finally creating a space where artists can express themselves, talk about their lives frankly. I was talking to Elias Sibata of Note Clothing last week, and the level to which we get talking about fashion politics, talking about challenges, the real challenges that come with the competitiveness of the industry, how you navigate, and he expressed as well the fact that this platform is needed. This platform is needed by artists who everywhere else it's about PR. It's about present a face, present this, but he spoke so frankly, and it sort of really gave me the impetus to carry on and to say, okay, I think we've got something here. We've got something real. We've got something that can last, and something that is really truly amazing. So I'm also looking forward to seeing how far it can grow, how far it can flourish, and the various collaborations that we can birth through this platform, and working together and owning our art and owning our creativity, owning our businesses, and being successful at the end of the day as entrepreneurs, as business owners.
And being able to create access to markets for the artists that we feature. I envision it not being fashionable if you're not on Decata.
Yes.
That if you are not there, then it means there is something missing. It's a platform that will get even the most unknown artist out of the woodwork, and exposure, and more exposure.
It's
So
something to
I see
aspire
it
to, like, oh my God, I want
absolutely
my work to be there. Yes.
Yeah, something to aspire to. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Such great
pleasure.
If anybody tells you that, look, this thing of yours is going to take 10 years, would you start? Would you start, honestly? We talk about the 5-year plan, and you're like, oh yeah, 5 years, but somebody's coming.
Yes.
Yeah, see your idea, but yeah, give it 10 years and you're not going to start.
No.
I think you'd honestly be scared, but it depends on how much you actually want the thing.
Yeah.
And how much you believe in it. Because I don't think it should be that easy to begin with.
Yeah.
Because if it was easy, then everybody would be
would do it.
would be doing it and everybody would be successful, but it just differentiates all of us. You know, I don't know, it's such a, because would you want somebody to tell you it's gonna take 10 years?
Absolutely not.
It wouldn't
I
get
want
out
to.
the next morning. It's like, what?
Yeah, I've been like, what, 10 years?
You know,
Yeah.
So,
We just take it a day as it comes. You know, it really should just be about the 24 hours in front of you.
yeah.
Later on, you look back and be like, oh my God, it's been 10 years.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And also, no one can take your birthright. So if it was meant to be, it will be, provided you work on
We're
it.
working on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do me any
We're
last?
honestly, sorry, we're not given ideas for nothing.
Yeah.
No.
I honestly believe that if you have a dream, it's because it's part of your purpose to do it.
Yes.
Whether it takes 10 years or 1 year, or some people it takes 6 months, you know, but if it's planted in you, it's there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, from my side, I would not knowingly agree to 10 years.
I don't think no one would. No.
You would.
No.
So if it's the 10 years that is cast in stone, I will not take it. I will not venture into
Like
it.
you
Yeah.
take it as a challenge.
No.
You know, you take it as a challenge and say, you know what, if you say it's 10 years, I'm gonna do it in 2.
I'm gonna do it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Challenge accepted.
I guess it's all relative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.